Wow, welcome to Eight Questions with. I'm your host, Patrick, and it's Friday night. I know we're here on a Friday again, and yeah, we're doing pretty much shows pretty much all 5 days of the week. We do have a couple of days where we're going to be doing. One day is going to be dark, the 24th, unless I find somebody. Otherwise, probably going to be just we're going to be rolling through May with a show every day. Hey, Danny D, the super supporter. I hope that includes me. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Of course, we will be talking to the vivacious V from Call Me V, and now I was on her show and got interviewed. Now she gets to step into the Cheetah's den to get interviewed, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to this interview for quite a while, and super glad that V was able to do this with us. Right now, I think they're really, really busy. I think they're hosting um, Kenneth Oaks. I think they're hosting him on a trip around Canada. So there might be we might be seeing a Kenny sighting. Yeah, we're gonna have fun today, Danny. That's for sure. And it might it's gonna be it's gonna be a good interview. It's gonna be a good interview, and we're gonna get into it a little bit too because you know I think there's some things about V that people may not know about, and I really want to bring it to the forefront because first and foremost, V is a warrior and a survivor, and we're definitely going to be talking about that. And she's got a really cool husband too. We gotta throw that into the mix, um, because behind every great woman is a really good husband. Um, all right, the cheetah is making waves here. Hi, cheetah. Want to come up? Ah, okay. Hi, cheetah. All right, you're hamming it up. You're hamming. Right. All right. So the cheetah came up. It's gonna be summertime, so I'm sure we'll be seeing the cheetah come up and saying hi more often during the summer. He does that during the summer. Hi, what are you doing? What are you Um, Not so much during the winter. In wintertime, he cuddles underneath his blanket, but during the summer, he's a lot more active up here. Hi, what are you doing? Hi, yeah. Hey, good boy. Hey, good boy. See how long he can last there. No. And look who just walked in the room. None other than the leading celebrity in YouTube, the Ice Lord. The Ice Lord enters. Enter the Ice Lord. Uh, are you doing a ninth circle tonight, Wes? Or a ninth level? Are you doing a ninth level tonight? Oh, wait a minute. It might be. I think you got. Where are you? Maybe you're on Grande's show tonight, or oh, I know you're on somebody's show. You and Gore and Terrence and the other and the Curly, Mo, Larry, and Shemp. All right, all right. I forgot. I just remember that. All right, move. Uh, yeah, but glad you guys are here. Wow, everybody's coming in early. So I'll let you guys know what's going on the calendar. Our Instagram seems to be going down. Try to get on Instagram, and it seems not to be working too much. So, but I'll tell you what's going on here on the old calendar. So, of course, we have V today, and then on the 14th on the Midnight Society on Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Uh, I am doing awesome, Wes. I am doing awesome. I'm really happy that everybody's coming in tonight for V. I hope all the beautiful people will show up as well. Um, yeah. Oh, that's good tomorrow night. Yeah, this could be a good show. I promise I will definitely be rolling over for that. Not totally sure if he's going to do a nice circle, but yeah, do it. Do it. Started at 10 o'clock though, so we can all get over there and hang out with the mighty Ice Lord. And there's our good friend Rick. I think it's Rick. Got to make sure. You know how that rolls. All sorts of shenanigans. Got to throw out the password. All right. Yes. Yes, V is amazing, and she is here early, so we don't ever let anybody wait in the basement. As soon as they get here, we throw them on the stage, and away we go. So let's go get V. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Hello, beautiful people.
Good evening. Good evening. You have are you still hosting Kenny right now, or did you pass him off to somebody else?
I was not hosting Kenny. I just picked him up for the weekend to have a welcome to Canada party for him.
So where is he going now?
He's in Michigan. I believe he's going to Oregon 23.
Oh, okay. Well, how's he get? Okay. How's he getting? He's driving with his family from Tennessee, right?
No, he's our mutual friend Troy S. I believe is picking him up in North Carolina or something.
Wow. Okay. All right. All right. So there you go. Just hit right now. Uh, Patrick, pronounce poutine.
Putin.
Oh, that sounds too Russian for me. I can't do Putin.
I didn't say Putin.
Yeah.
Putin.
Yeah. That sounds like That sounds like Vladimir Putin.
No, not Putin.
Can we call it Poutine? Who's your favorite hockey goalie ever?
Patrick Roy. Hello. Blue eyes.
Yeah. Okay, this show just now went into the 8 Questions Hall of Fame. That's right. Yes. Man, see, that's why I can't stand the Red Wings. I live in Metro Detroit, and I can't stand them. I just hate them with a passion. And they say, well, how come you hate the Red Wings so much? And I say, because you're too young to remember this, but I'm not. But the Red Wings, Patrick was having a bad day. He had a bad day, and they just made it worse. And they did it on purpose. I mean, it's like, dude, you guys were up like 6-0. He's having a bad day. The coach was leaving him in there. So why are you continuing to, and that forced him to be traded. He did end up, I do believe he ended up winning a Stanley Cup with the Avalanche, so that was good.
Les Avalanches.
And then, of course, now we had Carey Price, and that was totally wasted. We never got Carey any really weapons around him.
It was a one-man show.
Yeah, he really was, and he kept on getting hurt. He kept on getting banged up because they had no defensemen around him, and he was done prematurely. Yes, I am a Canadiens fan. Not deep. I mean, I still remember Guy Lafleur.
Guy Lafleur. What about Dougie Gilmore? Come on, those sexy legs. Come on.
Let's see. Who else do I remember? Vachon, the goalie before Patrick Waugh.
I
think that was yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I think that was there were some other ones. I used to collect hockey cards, and so I used to collect all the Canadian cards. Hello, Lily. How are you?
Hey, Lily.
Thank you for coming in. 10 o'clock tonight. I just got the word from the mighty Ice Lord himself, Wes, saying that the Ninth Circle will be happening at 10 p.m. on the Ice Lord's channel.
Gotcha. Thank you, Ice Lord. Thank you for the invite.
That's right. The Ice Lord is in the house.
Whoop, whoop. We have royalty, people.
I know everybody. You ever notice that everybody loves the Ice Lord, right? Everybody loves the Ice Lord. It's like, we were talking about him yesterday. We were sitting there going like, if we say he's sort of like Candyman. If you say Candyman 5 times, he'll pop up. And so we always say, well, if we say enter the Ice Lord, he'll show up. And a lot of times he does. It's sort of fun.
It's true.
Hey, Tim. All right.
Hello, beautiful people.
Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Our good friend Rick from Underground Sobrosa is here. If you haven't connected with people, because I see some communities are crisscrossing here, If you haven't connected with others, please do so in the chat. I can vouch for everybody in here that they're really nice people, and we're glad to have them here. So how was your day? How did you end up being a tour host for tour guide for Kenny?
Well, Kenny was supposed to come to Canada for bridge fries. And I was supposed to bring some cheese curds so it could have real poutine. Because, grated cheese is not poutine. I'm just going to tell you right now. That's a Cheetah version. It's just not right. If it doesn't go squeak, 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 it's not poutine. And my Miss Cree, he was Kenny staying with Crystal of Destination Delight, and she's been busy. Busy. It's been almost 2 months. I was like, he's going home soon. And I offered, to pay a few things. And he's like, money-wise was just too tight. And I was like, all upset. And I was telling my friends. My friends are like, let's see if we can make this happen. And next thing you know, one person told another person and told another person. And they all got back to me and say, we can't. Kenny's like 15 minutes from the border. We cannot let him go. I said, I'm fine driving all the way. So I drove all the way to pick him up. And some people were gracious enough, like, thank you. I'm going to cry because it just amazes me of our community. Got together, raised funds to make sure Kenny had souvenirs, Kenny had food paid for, and all. So that was super, super, super nice.
It is really nice. He's a really nice young man, and I know that he's very, very much beloved in the van life community. And
he's like my little brother. I just love him so much.
He's a really nice guy. He really is. He's really humble. And, I felt really bad when we did the marathon for him because, I had no idea what was going on until I started seeing the pictures. And then I'm going like, holy shit, you never know what everybody's going through. Sometimes we see the pictures and who knew that he was living in those conditions because of all the times that we saw him, you never would have known, unless you actually would have unless you would have actually been like, he's always in the same room in the very same chair.
Unless you were privileged enough to get to know him after live and I must say that I was privileged enough too, because I used to do morning Monday and Thursday mornings. So Michael Ann and Kenny, we were always up there. And sometimes after the lives, we'd talk. And, the Mondays that I'd have off for long weekends, we'd end up speaking sometimes 12 hours because we're like, da-da-da-da-da-da. When you meet people you like, you just meet people you like,
Did you pick up on what was going on with him? Or like I like with my own father, I had no idea. It was a shocker when he passed away. I flew out to his house, and I'm going, okay, I opened the door, and it looked like a normal front living room, a little cluttered. Yeah. But then I got inside deeper in the house, and all of a sudden I was going like, holy crow, my dad's on a borderline hoarder. He was another year from there, and he would have been full on. He had the garage. He had his little shack in the back. It was packed with just nothing. Yeah. And it was just like, when I heard about it, I just felt so bad for him. It's like it's a really insidious disease.
Unfortunately, his conditions were he was making the best of it. So you know what? I always say chapeau, which is hats off to Kenny because he kept his smile. So
I just wish I just really wish that he wouldn't have had to suffer, or his dad. I wish they wouldn't suffer for so long. That's really what I regret. But it was really cool though that everybody rallied around him. Yeah. To help him.
And that's why I was glad to be the one to be with Michael Ann, to be the first Canadian ambassadors to say, come to our country, because to me that was important. Because we got him on this cruise. He got to see what an ocean looks like. And Donovan explained to him what's underneath the ocean. And then when I got to just bring him to the aquarium in Toronto and he got to see what's under the ocean. Like it's a whole new world. Like all these creatures were underneath, and he was just like there is a video that he's just like, say, Kenny, just look up, and he just looks up and he's like, and you can see like all these things are floating, and he's just like processing, and it was just like, to me, you gave me $1 million because my brother got to see the full circle that he didn't probably get to experience or anything before in his life. So
no. Let's see. Lily says that she sent you an email back.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was working today. Sorry, I was a bit busy.
I think let's see. Hobbs wants to know if they have calzones in Canada.
Yes, they do.
Do they have any bat zones in Canada? Do you guys
have what?
Do you have Little Caesars pizza in Canada?
Yes, we do.
You should declare war on the U.S. right now for that.
I don't like Little Caesars, so it's okay.
I know, isn't it? I know. It's funny. It cracks me up when I see people trying to pass it off as
Little Caesars and Domino's. Don't know why they exist. I'm sorry. I will never be a spokesperson for you people.
No. It's like
you can offer me $1 billion and I'll still say no. I'll stay poor.
You know, it's you know what it's really good for. It's really good for, like, you know, greasing the hair, or put a little grease on the spokes of your bicycle or in the car. But
do you want some grease? I have some ghee. Works the same way as grease.
Yeah, there you go. That's the same thing at the Batzoni. Little Caesars is not pizza. It's actually from Michigan. Little Caesars got to start from Michigan. So did Domino's. You guys should
Michigan. I'm just saying, up your game.
You should just invade Michigan already and be done with it.
Well, I'm a true Canadian. I like Topper's Pizza because you know what? They put toppings on Topper's Pizza. Let me tell you.
Now you know it used to be that you go inside a pizza place here before the pandemic, right? You go in there and you order a large pizza. Okay, 2 toppings. Okay, I'd like to get a pepperoni and mushroom. Okay, well that's built into the pizza. Now you order a pizza and it's like, okay, what do you want on it? Well, I'd like to have mushroom and peppers. Well, that's gonna be extra $2.50 a piece. So when do you start charging extra for toppings? I mean, you're selling a two layer pizza.
Yeah, and you're like, if you're gonna charge me that much, let me just go get some garlic bread at the grocery store. I'm like, and then I'll put the peppers for $1. You know.
Exactly. Let's see. Shout out to Green Beaver deodorant.
Yes. Hobbs, are you wearing it? If so, I need to know what scent are you wearing.
And Anna is here.
Hobbs, you get to ask Kenny. I gave Kenny his own Green Beaver product to review.
I was going to ask you if you gave Kenny some Canadian mayonnaise.
No, unfortunately, I never thought of it. But he did try Canadian ketchup, and there is a difference, and he noticed it.
What is Canadian? Oh, do I want to know this? What is Canadian ketchup?
Canadian ketchup doesn't have. You can read the ingredients. There's nothing. Like there's like 6 ingredients, I think, in it. Something like that.
Is it tomato, water, and a little bit of salt?
I'm looking for my ketchup and I don't have it.
Because we have sugar. We have sugar in ours.
I'm in my dining room. You think I could find
hi Jamie. Hi Anthony. And Rady's Creative Travel is in the house.
Really? Hi, Blaine.
Blaine the 6-shooter. He's in the house.
He's in the house.
Mm-hmm. And Jamie is, and Anna.
Hello, Jamie. Wait a minute. This is for Jamie. I'm gonna pinch your cheeks. Are you ready?
Are you pinching Jamie's? You know. She told us yesterday that she's gonna be doing a birthday stream in June, and she's trying to sit there and tell us that she's turning 50. We're not really believing that yet. We're sort of like thinking, yeah, it's really just 45. I don't know. I just can't see Jamie as being 50. She must have made a deal with Swan.
Yeah. I want to know what. I put a lot of facial creams, and still I'm like, wow, you're doing this.
I'm thinking she made it. I'm gonna see if A-Ray picks this up, but she must have made a deal with Swan. Now, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, there, drop it in the chat. I'll see. I'll see if there's some. See if there's some movie buffs in here. Does anybody remember Swan? Which is really because there is, and the thing is, there is a Canadian connection here. But we'll see if they get it first, and then I'll tell you about the Canadian. Then I'll tell you about the Canadian connection to what I just said. Yes, yes. So you played the ambassador, and you helped Kenny get over, and you went over to Canada.
And you know when?
Yeah, you have to have a passport now to go on a cruise ship, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, isn't that, yeah.
Well, we did because we're Canadian going over there. So, and you're technically entering another country. So technically,
are you?
I don't know for the U.S., but in Canada we did. So,
are you based in Toronto or are you based?
I'm west of Toronto.
Okay. How many miles?
Miles? I don't know miles.
Oh, kilometers. Meters.
Kilometers?
Yeah.
Let me map it for you. I'll guesstimate for you.
I've been to Toronto. It's a beautiful country. I mean, a beautiful city. Not very many ways to get in it though. There's like 4 main highways. That was weird.
Yeah. So yeah. Continue. So a little over 100 kilometers, not that far.
Isn't that just 100 miles?
No, that was it. What 1 mile is like? I don't remember.
See,
I'm getting old. I don't remember all those fraction things that I had to do.
Forget that. Forget the kilometers or whatever, or kilowatts. Just go to miles.
If you have a phone, just do it. Why go to miles?
It's 100. You're 160 miles west of Toronto, and I think Toronto's like 300 miles, maybe.
See, look at that! I'm halfway there. See, look.
Yeah, I think I'm 350. I mean, from my house to 35 miles to the border, and then from Windsor to Toronto, I think it's like 3 hours.
Yeah. So when I tried to pick up Kenny, you know when life throws you lemons? Yeah. Well, I was thrown in the lemon sorting plant because my husband picked me up, engine light went off, on a Friday night. I'm leaving on Saturday morning.
Where did you pick him? Wait a minute. If you're that far west, where did you pick him up at?
All the way to Michigan. Then I brought him all the way back.
Oh, you went to Windsor.
No, Sarnia.
Oh no! Okay, in the thumb. So you went through the Blue Water Bridge.
Yes, the Blue Water Bridge.
Ah, okay, yeah. You're about. Yeah, it's about
a few hours.
Yeah, it's about 80, 90 miles from. Maybe a little bit more from here. I've been up to.
That's what I'm saying. I can meet you in Michigan. Ain't far.
Yeah, that's cool. That's so fun. Now, how long did you stay? How long did Kenny stay with you guys?
We just stayed overnight. It was just, we're supposed to do the aquarium Saturday, but the whole fiasco of trying to find a rental because my car's engine light was on. I ain't gonna drive. Right. I'm not gonna be responsible for Kenny and Michael in my car if something's wrong with my car. So,
okay.
And my car 2 days before lost its muffler, so both cars were in the shop on a Friday night, and I was like. Everything closed at 4. I was like,
isn't it always happened? No one knows what I mentioned about Swan. Yeah. Nobody. Hobbs, you should have your fanboy card revoked for not knowing this.
The only Swan I know is Black Swan, so that's the only thing.
No. You have to sell your soul to Swan.
Well, I figure that.
Yeah, I thought I'm going. You know what? I get crushed for not being a horror channel. I make a horror reference and nobody gets it. Yeah.
Bonjour, Andre.
Hi, Andre. How are you? Oh my gosh! But I can't give Hobbs too much scatter because he did get my Pacific Rim comment. So there's that. So how have you been yourself as you going into the summer? I mean.
I'm excited because
everywhere.
tomorrow I get to open my RV. So whoop whoop whoop! I get to
Uh,
enjoy the RV life.
Now, are you going to come down for the meetup in Michigan? Are you coming down for that, or is that
Well, Patrick, are you a reason that I need to come down?
you and Steve? Steve's your husband, right? You and Steve should come down there and see Michigan. If you've never seen it before, you should come.
I went to Michigan in 2018, did the Frankenmuth because that was like I was on a mission. Gotta go to Frankenmuth. Gotta
On
go
a,
Frankenmuth.
did you say I'm on a mission from Santa Claus?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I love Christmas. I just love
Oh
Christmas.
my God, that truly is. You know, they say, it's Christmas 24/7 at Frankenmuth.
And don't forget, my husband is German, so does it get any better than
Oh my
that?
God, did you go? Did you
Christmas
go?
in
Did you
German.
go to Zenders? Did you go to Zenders for the fried chicken?
Yeah, that's a big restaurant. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to
And
go. You have to go
my
to
husband
Zenders.
even ordered some kind of brewing beer, whatever, and he's like,
Oh my gosh, yes.
he's like,
I did.
doesn't
I did
remember
not.
it.
I didn't have any beer there. I did not have any beer. I don't drink per se, but I did see the tankers. Man,
Yeah.
those things are that's some weight. Man, you can get that's where they say getting tanked at. That's what they're talking about, drinking a tankard of
Oh,
German
he
ale.
literally took one sip and he goes, no, no.
Oh,
He's like,
really? Didn't like it.
no, well, wouldn't I don't drink. It's been 19 years. So, and my husband, when he met me, he said, I don't drink. And I'm like, because I've seen just too many things that alcohol can do. So,
Yeah.
and you know what? Health wise, so I'm like, I'm almost 20 years cancer free. So I was like,
Yeah,
I'm not going to push my luck, you know?
right. Yeah, you know what's funny is like people really don't get the idea that like beer is a lot of sugar in beer. There's a lot of sugar in alcohol.
Yep.
And when it's they say, try not to drink because it is a trigger for cancer.
Yep.
And cancer loves sugar. That's probably spreads more because of that than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, all right, there he goes. Thank God, Hoff saved the day. Phantom of the Paradise, 1974, Brian De Palma. That is my second favorite Brian De Palma film.
I was not
Uh,
even alive. How can I get a reference? The
this
only
this
reference I know is the
movie,
singing in the rain.
this movie, Phantom of the Opera or Phantom of the Paradise, is famous in Canada. They have a week-long festival for Phantom of the Paradise. There's a
Seriously?
small Yes, there's a small town in Canada, and they love it. In fact,
Well,
this
what's the small
festival has.
town? Do you know?
Oh, I can look it up, but I
Wait,
read
wait,
about it.
wait, we'll get Hobbs. Hobbs, what's the name of the small town? Let me know.
Yeah, they do a festival every year for Phantom of the Paradise. It's an amazing. And Paul Williams, right? Paul Williams is a Canadian, is he not?
Yes. Wait a
I,
minute. Hobbs wants me to ask you a serious question. Patrick,
okay.
are you checking your handcuffs? That's what Hobbs wants me to ask you.
Am I checking my handcuffs?
I don't know.
No,
Hobbs, if I
no.
didn't say it right, I'm sorry. Lost in translation in French.
Yeah. Well, we at Hobbs, we just got the football schedule came out.
Oh,
We're big football fans, and so right now we're looking at the schedule. We see our teams are battling twice, and right now we're negotiating the type of cat food we're going to be eating if our teams loses to the other.
did you
We
say
have a bet.
cat food?
Cat food. We have a bet every year that if our team beats the other team, the other person has to go online and eat cat food.
Why don't you
So
just play Bean Boozle? And
uh,
you have to eat them all together, all flavors, and you're done.
I actually challenged him to a curling, but he said no.
Yeah! I'll go play curling with you.
Yeah, let's do it. Curling is hella.
But
That's
there's
hella.
no pinching of the peaches. Let's just
There's
get it straight.
curling. Have you played curling? Explain
Right at
explain to us what
once.
explain to us Americans who are sort of goofy down here.
Well,
But
there's
explain
two
to us
types of curling. So,
okay.
because I know a Canadian Olympian who plays with the bells. It kind of looks like a bell, but it's not a bell. But they look like a bell if you were visually looking at it. And then there's the big rock round things that slide down. And your aim is to keep it in the center for more points. And then the next person, the aim is to take your rock out of the circle. So
Yeah, you know where I watched it at. Honest to God, I had heard the term, but I had never watched it. But because we were on Windsor, we would get the CBC, and so
yes,
sometimes the CBC would air a curling. And so I watched it one day. I put it on there and I watched it, and I was sitting there going like, okay, this is either the most goofiest thing I've ever seen, or this is pretty interesting. I gotta admit,
it's it's
it's
very
pretty interesting.
strategic, very
Yeah,
strategic
the
because
guy.
you have to you have to kind of curl it to protect it, but then like it's yeah,
Don't that rock that you call it the
yeah,
rock, that thing looks heavy as hell.
it is.
I mean, it does not look like a bowling ball. It looks like it's a solid chunk about 40 pounds, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to scoot it down there. And then the guy with a little brush trying to pave a way. It's interesting,
Well, like I said,
and you have to
there's
be on and you're on. No, you're not on skates.
nope.
You're on regular. Yeah. Now, see if
You
you put
just
it on
have
skates.
flat shoe wear.
Now, if you were on skates, that would really make it really that'd be
Well,
really.
my friend Steve is an Olympian for the bell kind of. So it's pretty interesting because I learned that I didn't even know there was two versions. So I was like, wow, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. So
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen what, here it is. Haas mentions Phantom Palooza. Is that what it's called? I know it's a week long. He says it's in Winnipeg.
oh, it's in
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg. Oh,
Wow. Why did I
okay,
want to think of a
can
smaller
I just
town?
say something? Thank you,
Okay.
Danny. Thank you, my clan. I really appreciate it. Thanks for embarrassing me, but I still love you.
Are they trying? Oh,
They're trying to.
Danny D mentions for being cancer free. So
No, no,
talk.
no.
Let's
Uh,
yeah. You've been cancer free. You've been cancer free for 20 years, right?
Almost, yeah, almost.
So what is because you've had it now. How old were you when you first got cancer? And did you have it in your family? Was this a family thing, a genetic thing, or was this just random bad luck?
We don't know because I know my grandfather died in his 50s. And, very Catholic people, we don't take away, you don't open a dead body just because you want to find out what's wrong with them. They just
Mhm.
passed away. So that's how it was back in the day. So we don't know. And on my mom's side of the family, there wasn't much. So there's not the pinpoint person. So, and it freaked out my family because I was running for a 5K. I was at the gym 4 times a week. Like, I was like, I would measure how much fat to stir my stir fry in, like I was like very particular.
Isn't it?
And
Oh,
and
isn't
I'm the one who got sick and all my family like, we eat chips and chocolate like it's not going in style, like they're like to them it was a reality check. And for me it was a reality check too, because, I'm like I didn't my only splurge was three drinks, but 3 drinks, that's a lot of sugar. So all the efforts I was making, you know, kind of got null and voided.
So I mean, it must have been really different back then when you got diagnosed. It was between now and back then, 20 years ago, advancements have been made.
Yep.
But I mean, was it pretty much instant surgery? Did they immediately say, "Yeah, we're going to take you underneath the knife and go looking," or
It took them 2 years to find it because I had the weirdest whacked out symptoms that the symptom that can be associated to, 25 things, you know. I remember at one point I went to see my optometrist. I was like, my eyes are not blue no more. They're green. I said, what does that mean? She goes, what? I said, can you check my files, please? I'm physically here for you to check my file and confirm if my eye color is different. And she was like, and she took a picture and she put them side by side, night and day, blue sky to beautiful green tarp.
wow?
So, and I said, if it weren't for that, I would have not kept pushing that there's something wrong. I would have been like, well, eventually I'm going to figure it out. But my mom always told me when I was sick, my eyes were green. So she always knew if I was sick or not. So, and my doctor said, well, is your palm square? is your feet growing? Like my optometrist, because she knew somebody who had this really rare disease, and it took him, 6 years to find out what it was. And he had all these weird symptoms. So then I go to my doctor and I was like, well, my eye color changed. So here's another one I have to check off the list. So my doctor was like, oh, yeah, that's very rare. I didn't have markers for that. So they're like, I don't know what you have. So it took a while. But during that while, the cancer grew. And this is how they found it. So
I am dropping your link here. So if you wanted to see Lee's page, you can go over there. I just dropped it and I pinned it. Please go up there and give her a sub and leave her a comment and watch a video or 2 or 3 or 6.
drop a green heart because I know you loved what you see. If not, you can put it in parentheses, green heart. Am I frozen?
No. My phone just went. My phone. I've had it. It goes on and off. It goes off about 30 minutes, so I have to touch it. Yeah, I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like 20 years versus even as little as 10 years. And the thing about it is, though, is I guess because you have socialized medicine, so
Yeah.
I think it's probably you were treated a little bit differently than American medicine is.
Probably.
What's it like having socialized medicine? Can you tell some of the pros and cons of it? I mean, do you like it, or is it Canadians like it?
I must say that the advancement, the difference from 20 years to now, back then I had 1 or 2 doctors. Okay. Now it's a team of doctors all talking. What could these be? Because they always say 1 mind is great, 2 mind is better, 3 mind. So I have to say that development in the medical field is like night and day. Because I remember being on the table, having two doctors argue like I'm a piece of flesh underneath. Like, how big is this and what's it attacking? And I'm going, excuse me, I'm here. It's my body we're talking about. Like, I understand biology. Can I just
Well, I mean, so they didn't have, yeah. I mean, it's got to be frustrating, because you said it took 2 years. That's probably the hardest part about being misdiagnosed.
And especially that I was very regimented about all these things. So I was like, why am I training for a 5K? It's been 3 years, and all of a sudden I'm gaining weight. It didn't make sense. Like all these weird things, and they're like, maybe it's a hormone imbalancement, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. In the U.S., I don't know how many tests you guys would have. I would have been probably bankrupt just with a bunch of tests.
Yeah. If you don't have like if you don't have good health insurance, you're at the mercy. You really are at the mercy. I mean, if you don't have it, I mean, it's
I always say, I was determined that it was not going to define me whatsoever. I was like, you know what? I always said, my attitude determines my altitude in life. So I said, I'm going to come in with a great attitude, whatever they tell me. Hey, man, it's been there for 2 years. It's not going to change. What do I have to? What's the next step to look forward to? And you're assigned a social worker to make sure, because this is big news to tell you. And I was like, okay, so what's next? And she's like, you're in shock. I said, honey, it's been over 752 days. I ain't in shock. I'm relieved it has a name.
Yeah. So let's see. Jamie says her medical bills are ridiculous. I'm lucky to have insurance. Just her medicine alone is $60 a month.
Wow.
And Danny D says she's happy that you survived cancer. Yeah, you hear that all the time. People say, they're a cancer survivor, and it's like a cancer survivor. Like I had cancer 2 years ago, and I'm a survivor, and it's like, it's hard to sit there and tell somebody to sit there and say, yeah, you're doing good right now. 5 years is really what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And of course, the number one word that every cancer patient, I think is true. I don't think that the scariest word is cancer when you have it. I think the scariest word is recurrence.
Yep.
It really is. That's the
it's
word.
Like having something on your shoulder every day just to remind you I might just peek in front of you. You just never know when.
I mean, that's absolutely the most devastating word to hear.
And that's why
You
you
know,
said, if you don't keep your attitude here, your brain starts thinking, what's
oh,
that shadow,
it absolutely does. It
So
absolutely
that's why you're like,
every single day. You know, even when you do hear the word remission, you still every single day you think about it and you hold your breath and you start looking for the doctor's appointment. And after you're initially it's once every 3 months,
three
and then
months.
if you survive that first year, then it's like once every 6 months, and then it's
Yeah,
like after that. But the first year you have it, you start looking forward to that 3 months. You want that 3 months to get there, so
yeah,
the doctor can sit there and say you're good. You know,
okay.
otherwise that 3 months you just walk on needles,
Yeah.
not eggshells, needle.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
And the thing is, I knew I had a strong mind because I was like, for a social services person to tell me that I was in shock, and I was like, honey, I'm not, man. I'd rather be me than my 2-year-old godson or my niece who's my goddaughter who's 5. Like, they have pictures of me bald, but I was like, I'm glad it was me and not them going through it because I didn't want them to lose out on their childhood, Because they say the childhood predicts how you will react in the future. I've already had my childhood, my this, my that, So I was like,
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
uh, Inoperable is a bad word. It definitely is.
Yep.
Inoperable, advanced, a stage is not the scary word that it used to be. When someone says I have stage 4, that isn't always the doom and gloom.
See,
But
I never asked what stage I was. Until
yeah,
this day, I do not know. Because I told the doctor, I don't want to know because I don't want it to change my journey.
no, I mean you already know you're already stage 2. Once you get diagnosed, you're immediately
Yeah.
stage 2. You're already there.
But it's when
Um,
some people like concentrate on that. It's
mhm.
like when you read Lord of the Rings, did you like, I need to read 5 books? No, you just like, I'm going to read Lord of the Rings. You know what I'm saying? So that's how
Right.
I approached it. I was like, don't tell me which volume I'm already at. Let me just do it.
So you had surgery though, right?
Yes,
For
I
your
did.
now, how many surgeries did you have to undergo for your cancer?
I've undergone one, and I can tell you when I woke up, I looked at my boyfriend at the time, and I was like, did I get the bad one or the really, really, really bad one? And he goes, you just got the bad one. I was like, okay. Because it took me a while to wake up.
Right.
And my options were 2 little beautiful scope holes. I got 2 beautiful scope holes. But then the second one is they give me a breathing apparatus, kind of like a fish on the side. So I got those. And then the worst was they were going to crack me open like like a
Oh,
heart patient. So when I
right.
woke up and I was like, I felt like, a horse was sitting on me. And I was like, oh man, this is really bad. Like, I was like, no, no, let's pretend it's just a weighted blanket. As I was telling myself, I was waking up. And so then I found out, it was like, that's not that bad, but it's bad, but it's not that bad. So, but
Yeah, that was yeah. I wish I had that. I mean, I had to tell Lorianne about hers, and so it was like
it's the worst.
it was
I said nothing prepares you in your life
oh,
to
nothing.
sit there and get dished out the news that you never thought you'd hear, or you just hear on TV, or just hear in the movies, or you hear from the neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
No, I mean, it was, we had, she was, Lorianne, she got hers caught late too, but they thought it was so slow moving that they thought they had time and they didn't. We went to the University of Michigan, they thought they had time. So that, and Art, we had a great doctor and he says, we're just going to do hysterectomy. We're going to take it all out. And, it's going to be good. And, the survival rate was 88%. 88%. I was like, damn, all right, that's great. That's awesome. and then we'll call you. We'll give you a little restaurant, a little button like those restaurants give you when you call to your seat. Well, we're done. We'll call you. So it was. I think she went in underneath at 7 o'clock, and they said, well, we'll ring you. We'll ring you around 12:30. And then I didn't hear it. I didn't get it. I didn't get it at 1. I didn't get it at 2. I didn't get it at 3. I got it at 3:30. And so I went
Wow.
back. Man, this is really long. And then
Mhm.
I went to the doctor and I said, "Well, how did it go? Was it just what you thought?" And and I could see her in her face that it was not. It was like far
Oh.
worse. And she said it was. She could see it with her naked eye. And so right then and there, that was stage. They went straight from stage 2 to stage 4.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's. And then she said, they operated on her. They did what they could. And then when she woke up, I had to tell her. I had to tell her that they couldn't get it all. So
Oh.
yeah,
Oh.
that was
That
me.
that that's you just it's the worst thing you could ever tell them anyone. I don't
No,
care.
no. The worst thing to tell her was that she was advanced. I was funny because I had to. I had to tell the family. I had to, that
Mhm.
was first. That was I mean that was I had a because I wanted to know. I wanted to know. I'm like, man, I mean, we're going through this. It's getting worse. It's like what are we doing next? What are we doing? What are we doing? And finally, I just told the doctors, "Listen, I want to know. Please be honest with me. Are we coming through this okay?" And he goes, "No, no. She's advanced. She's gonna die." And
Wow. That's more than a pill to take.
so 3 days later, her brother and his wife came down, and I had to tell him. So that was yeah,
Yeah.
that was never easy.
That's a heart clencher, as they say, because
That's a hard. It's a
nobody.
destroyer. It's a destroyer.
Yeah,
It's
because you just clench your heart and you're like,
yeah.
you're like, you're just in shock.
But well, how did you meet Steve? Now you mentioned at the boyfriend at the time, so that wasn't Steve. So
Nope.
how did you meet Steve?
I met Steve at Boston Pizza, is what I tell everybody, because that's actually where I met him.
Nice.
And I chatted with him online.
That's all right.
And, I was meant to meet Steve because I had moved into this house, this apartment I was in, 4 months before, literally to the day, before talking to Steve. And for 2.5 years, I was living diagonally to him. So
You
we
guys.
kept passing each other, not even
Oh,
knowing. Like,
wow.
I
Was he
worked
was
days,
he
he
in your
worked
same town?
afternoons. Like, we never physically saw each other. We were like always different schedules, so we were parallel here,
So, but you guys lived in the same town
same town, same complex
and for same complex.
for two and a
But
half
but you guys
years,
but
and
you
we
but you
never
guys didn't
crossed.
but you didn't know that where each other lived.
No.
Oh, that's so weird.
And
Can you
then four
imagine that?
months later, he's like,
What
"Oh,
what?
you want to?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I know that area because I used to live there." So, and then start talking. I was like, "Can I know where you live? Like, how far do you live?" He goes, "Oh, I literally live off the block." And I was like, "So I just for the fun of it, I throw the complex name." And he goes, "How'd you know?" I said,
I'm
"Weird. I used to
stalking.
live there for 2.5 years."
Wow.
So it's really
You
and
guys
we
never. Wow. You guys never asked any questions. Like
like
after 6 months, you said like you didn't like. So where do you live at? What do you do?
no, 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 no. When we first met, but I said we could have met 2.5 years earlier. Almost 3.
Okay. I see. You didn't know each other at the complex.
No, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay.
And
Okay.
me and my roommate used to throw backyard parties all the time, and we're like, how can you have not known?
Oh,
Like,
wow.
but we were not on the same time.
Right, because let's
He
say you
worked
worked during
different
the day
hours
and he
than I
worked at
did
night.
and everything. So
So, what was the first? Where did he take you for the first date?
we went for mini butts, glow in the dark mini butts.
That's golf, right?
Yep, yep.
Oh, that's a great first date.
It was fun. We had fun.
I want to see everybody. I'm going to ask everybody in the chat to throw down their first date with your
Yeah,
significant other. Where did you go on your first date? Now we're gonna
Wait,
bring yeah.
well, let me
So,
take a bite of food because I haven't eaten yet. So I'm like,
sure, you go ahead. You go ahead and take a bite of food, and why everybody in the chat drops down. Where do they went, or if they want to, you can sit there and say, "What was your very best first date?"
oh, oh.
Yeah, best first date. I want to see people drop it in the chat.
Can I tell you what my best first date was?
Sure.
I'm sorry, Steve. It's not you, but it's okay.
Oh, denied.
Oh, denied. I
All right.
went
What was
to.
your best?
It was one of those, bake your own thing. So we went to we learned uh, how to make a cake. So it's like flat versus
You went to a cooking class.
yeah, kind of thing.
Oh
But
wow.
we were learning how to pipe
Okay.
properly muffins and stuff. So it was kind of interesting because you could see how the other person took it seriously and how they were listening, and it was pretty cool. So
Who suggested that? The guy who you're dating, or was
yeah,
that you? It was
that,
him.
that, that was the guy. Yeah, and I was like, "You bring all the chicks here." He's like, "No, no, I promise." He's like, "My mom told me about this." I said, "Well, if his mom told him, let's just give it a try, right?"
Right.
But then,
Right.
when you have it in the back of your head, you're like, "Ah, it's not his mom, I'm sure."
Yeah. Let's see how many. Let's see how many times people say, who'd you bring this time, Joe? What do you mean
Exactly.
this
That's what I was
time?
expecting.
You know. New date this time, Joe. Oh shit. Don't worry.
Oh, is it
Don't worry.
Joey?
Don't worry. Yeah. Don't worry. We saved your spot. It's right up here. So yeah. I mean, some guys are like that though.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have that, like, okay, for the first date, I'm going to take her to this club or take her to this bar. They're going to go to Chili's, and then we're going to have fajitas,
Joey.
and then we're going to then we'll go for a walk, and then we'll get coffee. I mean, if they have it planned down, and I didn't know about that either until I was talking to this lady, because my brother told me a few years ago. He says you got to get out and talk to people. And I'm like, I do talk to people. He says no, in person. So I met this really nice lady, and her name's Sharon, and her and I went for a walk, and it was off one of those dating sites. But I was like, I told her right up front, I says, I hope you don't think this is weird, but I'm married, and I have no interest in you at all, other than a friend. A walk. You want to walk? You want to walk with me? We'll be
Yeah.
golden. That's all we're doing. And and she goes, that's okay, because generally about the third date, the guy who says that that's all they want to do is to be friends, that's when they start wanting to get more. And I just looked at her and I said, I just laughed. I said, that won't be me, sister. And the fifth date, or I'm sitting there, let's go for a walk. And she goes, you really aren't trying to ask me out. I says, no, I'm married.
Yeah.
And but I did ask her about dating online, because she had been out with a few of the people online. I said,
Yep.
so what's it like? Because I didn't know, and so
It's not fun.
she said that a lot of the guys have set routines, like they'll take a girl out, they'll take her to the same restaurant, they'll take her to the same, this a movie, they'll take her to the same,
Yeah.
museum. They do everything, and like they'll have like 3 dates, and then by the fourth date, supposedly that's when they cash the deal in. That's when they try to. And I was like, wow, is it really that shallow? And then I talked to a guy. I talked to a guy who also did these video dating too, and he goes, "Let me tell you, it's like that, but it's the other way around. It's the girl will take you out for 3 times, and after the third date, she'll stop it because she got three free meals out of it.
Oh my
So
god.
it was very cynical, and I'm sitting there going like, how do people even go onto these websites to do this shit? It's like, man, I just like, eHarmony my ass.
So when I
Um,
met Steve at our when I met him at Boston Pizza, I told him, I don't expect you to pay for my meal. I just want to put it out right now.
yeah,
And he was
yeah,
just like, what? And he had never met somebody like this because I said, because everybody has a string attached. You pay my meal, there's a string attached.
yes,
And he
Yeah.
had never met a woman who like put her foot down like I don't want no strings attached. Like I'm here for the real deal. And I remember at the mini putt he tried to pay. I was like, no,
No.
no.
Uh, Danny mentioned says Danny says I'm only 28, but my big brother met his new girlfriend through a friend of his, and they met on St. Patrick's Day last year. They
Aww.
celebrated a year so far. They're still going strong and live together. That's awesome. And Jamie says her best first date is the one where I met my husband because I was on a date with his best friend. Damn, that's awesome.
That's so cute.
That is so cute. That
I
is
have a
so cute.
question. Is he still best friend with his best friend?
I think so because I'm looking at this as with his best friend. It didn't say with his ex best friend, so I'm
So
thinking
that's what I'm
that
thinking.
yeah. I'm sure they're still best pals. I mean, obviously, look at them. Both of them had really good taste, right? I mean,
Exactly.
they both went out with Jamie, so there you go. I'm sure they're still friends. Um,
So, sorry if I look distracted, is because before the live I just burnt myself, so I'm like
what did you
kind of
do?
cooling off the wound
How'd you burn yourself?
by pouring the water in my soup.
Oh,
So I was like, darn.
yeah, that's because we're talking too much medical stuff. So
Yeah.
what do you like? What do you like about being Canadian? What's your favorite part about being Canadian?
Well, I could tell you what I'm proud of being Canadian for.
Okay,
I had the privilege of learning two languages because both my parents are French Canadians. They're not English. So, and I'm proud of Canadians that we have more than one culture. Like, as much as I'm French Canadian, you know, for example, like, there's going to be a Filipino, there's going to be an Indian, there's going to be a native, there's like, I have all this mix of culture in my country. So, which is, to me, that's what makes it more beautiful because it's like salt and pepper gets a bit bland. Sometimes you got to add some flavor.
right, right. No,
So
Toronto was a really good place for melting. When we went to
that's
Toronto.
Toronto, Montreal, and
Yeah,
Vancouver. Those are the three top, you know, place where immigrants do settle because that's where it's so big and
right.
you know not a lot of them will go like a little town or whatever. So and
It says,
the fact that I have the five Great Lakes, I get to see or how do you say it? I don't say I know how to, les aurores boreales, aurora borealis in English. I think you say. I
yeah,
get to see those in September, October. So
yeah.
because
You
I'm a
guys
little
have. Why do why? Because I didn't realize this till recently, V. That like the majority of the Canadians, they live close to the U.S. border, the
well,
U.S.
yeah,
Canadian
because it
border.
gets
Yeah, they
colder
all
and
live.
colder and colder.
Yeah, like no one like you guys have all that country, all that beautiful country up north, and no one ever lives up there. It's like everybody comes down close to the U.S. border. I'm like, why? You guys have the whole damn country up there. It's like
Yeah,
nobody's
but
up there.
would you live in a city that's 6 months out of the year it's 35 and below?
Well, it's like that over here. It generally starts getting really cold here about in October, and it can stay cold. It can stay cold all the way to. Actually, it didn't really warm up until beginning of May, middle of May here. It has, it's still a little bit nippy at night, but we
Yeah,
had a
but
very cold. We've had some cold weather, not necessarily snow weather, but we've had cold weather for months. See, Jamie says that he was in our wedding, even though he was mad at her for a long time.
oh,
Uh-huh. Well, does anybody can you imagine the wedding? You can imagine Jamie and her husband were holding their breath when they said, "Is there anybody here that will say anything? Has anything?" Yeah, you son of a bitch. Still, I
are
have
you
never.
saying that I can swear on your channel? Because I love to swear.
Oh no, you can cut loose.
Oh,
Yeah,
people,
this is
if
this
you
is
know
cut, this
how
is
I
cut loose
swear,
Friday. It's cut loose Friday right here.
cut loose
Uh,
Friday. I love it.
let's see. Do all the Americans want to live in Alaska? I don't know.
Exactly.
A lot of Americans live in
No,
Alaska.
but it's the same thing. Michael Land's telling you. That's how cold.
And Jamie and her husband had just celebrated 29 years together.
Yay,
Yeah.
Jamie!
That's
Well,
that's
me. Okay,
that's awesome.
29. They met at, she met at 11, so yeah, maybe she
That's
is.
about right. I've heard about that.
Maybe she is.
Childhood sweethearts is what they call it.
Aww.
Uh, so what are some things that you would like to see improve in Canada? If you were prime minister for a year, what are some of the things that you would do to fix Canada
First of
besides
all, the government system.
besides get rid of King Charles?
Well, first of all, would be the government system. I don't understand why they can get raises when everybody else is on minimum wage.
Hmm.
I would suggest before you get paid, your first year in office, you have to make minimum wage. And your platform, if you say these 5 things, that's when you get your bonus pays. I'm just saying, that's my idea.
Okay.
I love that. I love that I can vote. I love that I can drink at 18. I just, I don't understand the whole point of it, but hey, I'm like,
Um,
what else?
I mean, would
Government
you?
office? I I wouldn't. I don't know.
What did you think? What did you think of the truck caravan? Was that something that you were that did because I guess
I,
Canadian did that stick to was there any changes made to Canada because of the truckers, or was it just business as usual?
well, all I'm gonna say is, truckers, keep on at it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Trucker what?
Keep on at it. That's all I'm gonna
Oh,
say.
keep on at it.
That's
Jonas
all
is
I'm
here.
gonna say.
Uh,
Because this can be a 5-hour debate.
oh, well, no, I just want to know how you felt about it.
I'm just gonna say, truckers, keep on at it.
okay, so keep on.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
Well, now, what countries have you visited, you and your husband? Besides
I've
America?
visited the U.S.
Okay,
I visited Italy, and
nice.
Aruba, La
Okay,
Romana, whatever everybody, and on the cruise, the Dominican. I'm not a traveler per se, but ask me how much of Ontario I've seen. I've seen
okay.
about 85% of it.
Now, is that the biggest province?
That's the biggest province.
Wow,
When I
that's
say I've seen it, I mean that I've stayed one night in all of them, and I've seen
okay.
something physically in that town.
What's your favorite place that you ever been to in Canada besides Tim Hortons?
Ooh. Tim Hortons not my favorite place at all. I'm sorry.
What? 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 Well, don't you drink coffee? Isn't it like Tim
No,
Hortons the place to?
I'm a treat. I'm a tea drinker, so I don't drink coffee.
Oh my God, Tim Hortons has
Sorry,
some.
I wake up naturally this hyper and happy. Steve's
I,
like, go to bed.
I like Tim Hortons coffee, but their donuts are dog shit. Just being
Well,
honest.
you've never had my grandma's donuts, so that's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say. You
yeah,
know why? You know why they're crap?
because
Because
they're all.
they took the recipe and then they tried to put all these preserves in it because they want to last longer.
Yeah.
And you know what I don't like about Tim Hortons?
What?
At the end of the day, they can't donate those those donuts to homeless
No,
shelters. They
no.
have to throw them out.
Yeah,
That is in their policy.
yeah. Everybody's policy
Yeah.
because you can't do it in case someone has a allergic reaction. You're held liable. People are, especially here in the United States, we hear that all the time. Oh my God, how come these restaurants don't donate all this food and all this food? They can't because if someone at the homeless shelter suddenly has allergic to seafood and they take a bite of seafood, that restaurant's responsible. Well, you shouldn't have gave it. You shouldn't have gave it. Oh, well, we're trying to help out. Well, you shouldn't have did it because now he got sick. Okay, well, fine. We're gonna throw away everything from now on. So now, for one person who knows better, to sit there and at least ask, like, does
Yeah.
this food have any? Is this seafood in here? Take a look at what you're eating. You know, but no, a lot, no, and they say that they say that sometimes people are dishonest about it. Like
Hey, Jonas.
I'm not allergic to anything, and then they eat something and then they have an allergic reaction
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, you never know
Uh,
when you'll be allergic either. So,
nope. Let's
but
see.
to think, to think
Ant
of really
reviews.
what's my favorite place,
Hmm.
it would have to be Manitoulin Island, the Cup and Saucer Trail. When you stand on that ledge and you see all of Manitoulin Island, it's like the most beautiful thing ever.
It's the prettiest place.
And I went
Canada.
to Italy. To me,
Can,
Manitoulin is still the best.
what did you like about Italy?
I loved Capri because all I have to say is fruta di mare, which is seafood, fresh
Okay.
seafood. I could see the fishermen pull it out, walk it to the restaurant. To me, I was like, I can die happy here, you know,
Right. Right.
because I'm always about trying to eat healthy, fresh, conscious eating, as much as I love food. But food doesn't love
Right. Is food a food pretty important part of your life?
me. Not really, but it's it's something that was passed down by both my grandparents.
So you're a good cook then.
Yes. My grandma actually taught me her measurements like this and like this. And when I went to school, they're like, there's no way that's a cup. I said, do you want me to measure it for you? And my teacher back then said, go ahead. And she was floored. She goes, I've been teaching for 27 years. Nobody's got their measurements right. I said, I was taught by my grandma. My
Yeah.
grandma was one of those super ladies. She used to she used to bake for the churches. Like she made money for just baking stuff because she could whip up any recipes like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I
My
can
mom
tell you
cooked it.
that everybody loved her beef barley soup. And one day I came over, grandma's like, oh, beef barley's on the table. This is me. This is what I did. Put it in my mouth. My grandma says, everybody at the table ate. I
Uh-huh.
stopped eating because I wanted to know what the ingredient was. Nobody noticed. But my grandma, because she was a church lady, they didn't let anything go to waste. So it wasn't beef barley. It was, sorry if you people are sensitive, to apologize, but my grandma raised 8 children by herself. So no waste, and everybody ate. And it was
Well,
actually horse and barley soup.
oh.
But I knew. Nobody else knew. Because they're like, oh,
Uh-huh.
it's good. It was delicious. But I knew
Well,
it wasn't beef.
well,
I was like,
doesn't the horse taste like chicken?
yeah, it has a different flavor. And she's like, your palate is well trained, my child. So
Oh, yeah, I don't have that kind of palate. It's like, yeah, if it's good, if it tastes good, I don't have a sophisticated palate. I wish I did, and it's like, no, if I like it, I'll eat it. I don't know, I don't really question it. Like, what do you think's in this thing? I don't know. As long as it's good, as long as it gets in my belly, I'm happy. Um,
I like what Jamie said. She goes, the only thing I get at Timmy's is a berry smoothie. Don't
yep,
don't look at how much sugar is in that one. I'm just gonna tell you.
it's
Tim
yummy.
Hortons is synonymous with a lot of sugar. So
Well, yeah, well, they did that on Tim Hortons. They came out with the frappuccinos, those cold frappuccinos, and so the summer they did that, they sent coupons out, and so we went up there to try it out,
I've
and
never seen a coupon for Tim Hortons. Is this just an American thing?
yeah, because we got Tim Hortons coupons all the time. Now we haven't had one in a long time. I have to say that I have not seen a Tim Hortons coupon in a long time.
When you do,
Well, now
take a picture
you
and
know what
send
it
it
is
to me.
now. Now all the restaurants. They read about the restaurants. It's fascinating to read about them. Now they're all going to digital. Now they all want you to join, to get their apps. And it's like, man, I'm like, I would get apps for if I got apps for every restaurant. I don't know if I have any memory on my phone.
I'm going to tell you, people, look at the big picture. Don't just ask why you're getting the app. Look at the big picture. If you are looking at what's been happening in the world for the past 20 years, you will know what I'm talking about. Look at the big
Yeah, I
picture.
don't really have any apps really per se. I got it's like that. I don't really want people to know. They say, well, if you get an app, you get special deals. It's like I don't really want to give up my privacy for that. I don't want my phone being bombarded. I don't want any of that. I mean, send me a paper coupon. Send me a paper coupon. I'm happy with that. But like you have to go ahead and you have to get the app. You have to put your name. You have to get your email address. It's like, for what? I don't want to do that.
And Patrick, that's one thing I would change in the government, because in Canada, there's app for the grocery store. Let me tell you a scenario that I encountered about 4 months ago. Yeah, about 4 months ago. In January, anyways. We go to the grocery store. Butter's on sale. $5.99. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have the app or the card? No. She goes, therefore butter will be $9.99. I said, how can butter be almost twice the price? Because I don't have a card. It's the same product.
Yeah.
You're just making more money on me because you don't have my data. Like,
I got one.
This is what I don't understand. This is illegal, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion.
Okay. How about this one? Now, everybody here in the chat can relate to this. Okay. See, I'm with Jamie. Yeah, I don't use self checkout either. I always wait until.
Me neither.
So here's the thing that these stores have been doing now that it just drive me freaking nuts. Now they have sales where they'll sit there and say, well, if you buy 5 items, you'll get $1.50 off. And it's like, okay, 5 items, buy 5 jars of soup and you save $1.50. Okay, I don't want to buy 5. I don't want to buy that many. I don't need that many. I like to have 2, and I'd like to have the sale price for the 2. You're making me spend more money under the disguise that I'm supposed to be saving money. I'm not saving money. I don't have money to buy 5 items. I have enough money to buy 2.
Wasn't it just 2 years ago that you were only allowed to buy 2, not 5?
Yeah.
See?
Oh yeah. Our just supply chain is supposed to be back. They're just ripping us off. Now they're just padding all their profits. That's all it is. I mean, they got a chance to jack up everything, and then they're not putting it back down.
And now they're putting less product.
Yeah, the food is absolutely ridiculous. I want to say hi to Shelly is here. Shelly is going to be our guest here in a couple of weeks. I can't wait for that. Repurpose my way. I've been after Shelly for a couple of years. I was like, Shelly, last year I asked her to come on for Creators Month. I said, Shelly, come on. And then she couldn't do it last year. So I didn't give up. I said, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait for a year. Then I'm going to go to Shelly. I'm going to sit there and say, Shelly, can you please come on and do this again? Because she repurposes her way. I love repurposers. That's when they go out there and they go and get all these cool items, and then they fix them up and tweak them and paint them and everything else and repurpose them. It's really cool. And they used to have a lot of shows like that on HGTV. And yes. I got hooked on that. There was actually one lady who was a repurposer, and she was based in the same town that we were in, and she was on HGTV. And so we used to go to her shop. She had a shop downtown in downtown Northville. It was so cool. And so when I saw that she's a repurposer, I'm like, oh, I got to talk to her.
Shelly, do you want my table? It needs repurposing.
Yes, she could do that too. That's the thing is, you give her anything, and she'll fix it up, paint it up, make it work, and she'll sell it.
A coworker of mine was an artist, and I told her, I said, when my husband's not looking, I'm going to take this big table, I'm going to put it on my back, walk down the 32 steps, put it in your truck, and you just do the art and then just bring it back. She goes, won't Steve notice there's no table? He won't notice if he likes the picture on top of the table when it comes back.
Jamie mentions if she can repurpose something, I will. I've been that way since I was a child. I love fixing up something old and making it new. And Shelly says she has another channel. I also have another channel, Whiskey and Sunshine Off Grid. So I know V and a few others in the chat. Oh, okay. That's awesome. I don't know what Whiskey and Sunshine. That sounds like cats. Are those named
I
the
had
cats?
to. Just by the title, she hooked me. I was like, wow, she does what? And insane.
Yeah, I don't. Whiskey and Sunshine sounds like cats. See, Renee says she has too much crap.
Well, it's called just flush it. Flush the crap. That's what
Uh,
toilets were invented for.
what's funny is like, around here, Michigan, right now it's like yard sales weather. It's supposed to be people coming out there and doing yard sales. Man, that is something we have not seen in a long time. I have yet to see a single yard sale go up. Uh, and I'm going out tomorrow, and I have yet to see anybody do a yard sale. And I keep asking to my friends at the library. I keep on saying, have you seen anybody put up a yard sale sign yet? Nobody's seen a yard sale so far this year. Um, so let me ask you some quick questions since you
Go ahead.
rapid fire. So like, what's your favorite movie?
Ooh, I think it's gonna be The Hunt for Red October versus Aliens. It's one of those.
The Hunt for October with Alec Baldwin and Sean Connery.
Yes.
That's a good movie.
It's a toss up between that and Aliens, but today I'm gonna go with.
Remember how sad it was? When Sam Neill got killed? Man, I was like, that sucks so hard. He was awesome. All right. Favorite actor,
Tom Hanks.
actress.
Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, okay. So Gurney. Yep, yep. Okay. A favorite kind of movie? Drama, comedy, horror, adventure, action, thriller, suspense, foreign.
I'm always doing which one. It's always between Hallmark movies, comedy, or horror. But my husband doesn't watch horror, so I have to watch it by myself.
Does your husband watch Hallmark with you?
He has on occasion.
Do you
But
know how lucky?
he's all into Marvel, and I'm like,
You do know you're lucky, right? That's a blessed thing to have.
no, I always said I'm just gonna call Patrick. You want to watch a movie with me?
That's right. That's right. Well, you know what's funny? There's this guy on the tube, and a Blu-ray release. He advertises the release of the new movies,
Okay.
and every week he does Germany, he does Italy, he does the UK, and he does the US. So I watch.
Italianos. I love Italian movies.
He always puts out all the movies that are coming up this week because Tuesday's the new release day. So he always advertises everybody's new releases that they're getting, and so the U.S. is today, and so it's for next Tuesday, and so I'm sitting there watching this, and all of a sudden on the Blu-ray, you'll never guess what popped up on the Blu-ray, first time ever. Hallmark is selling Blu-rays now. And yes, yeah, I said that too. I said, wait a minute, Hallmark is releasing Blu-rays. He goes, I know, I can't believe it either. I'm so happy because we're a couple of macho guys, and we love Hallmark.
I love macho guys who like Hallmark.
What can I say? I love Hallmark. I can't do horror all the time.
You know why? Because they know how to set a table. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep. Yeah, Hallmark is fun. You can't go wrong with them. You really can't. It's like watching a low budget horror film that's like from a company called Wild Eye. You can sit there and you can hate on this. I'm not sure if Pops is still here or not. You can sit there and hate on them, but you know what? It's worthless because no one cares because everybody loves their movies. It doesn't. You sort of look like a buffoon when you sit there and say, "Yeah, that movie's not very good." Who cares? It's not supposed to be very good. It's supposed to be bad. You're not supposed to sit there and judge it on whether it's good or not. It's supposed to be bad.
Exactly.
You gotta lean into it. Have some fun.
Wait a minute. Jonas went to an estate sale and he didn't call me? Don't you know my name is Call Me V? You're supposed to call me so I can go.
Estate sale. Yeah. Wow. Do you go to estate sales?
Yeah, and I could tell you my prized possession from an estate sale.
What's the one thing that you never do at an estate sale? What's the one thing you never do?
Bring cash.
Besides that.
Um,
You got a big
you
set.
don't tell people what you like. You just glimpse over everything like nothing is important. That's what I do. So
Oh,
nobody has an idea what I like.
I was gonna say negotiate. Never negotiate at a yard sale. Save that for a yard sale. I've been to a yard. I've been to some estate sales, and I've seen people walk up there, and they'll try to negotiate. They'll say, "Well, would you take 10? We take this on sale for $15. We
No.
take 750 for that." No, dude.
Dude,
Yeah.
I
Uh,
once went to an estate sale, but it was like an auction style. So the day before, you walked around the house. You can write the numbers that you liked or whatever.
okay.
The next day at 9 o'clock, let me tell you, the Mennonites were full strong because there was a bunch of tools. The guy was a carpenter, so you know, when you see the Mennonites, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna have to pay 5 times the price for that saw. But they were buying $500 wood for $50 because nobody knew what it is. And my husband is like, his dad was a carpenter. He's like, I was like, Steve, I know that's this wood. This is this wood. Like, and he was like, and these are like, they just wanted to buy because they were gonna do crafts or whatever with their things, right?
Notice Shelly's answer here, and she's a pro. So look at her answer. She says, "I'd love to bundle at yard sales.
Yeah.
I make a pile and say, what would you take for this?"
Yes.
But rest assured, Shelly would not do that in an estate sale.
No.
That's
No.
yep.
That's a big faux pas.
Yard sales. When's a good time? I have to ask her when she gets here because I'm so happy she's coming. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Um, I'm just curious, like how do you? Because like you watch that show American Pickers, and some of the guys they would do that. They would bundle things together and they brag about it, like we're gonna bundle this all together to get the lowest price possible so I can make money off of it. It's like how about doing this? How about offering them a fair price?
You know what? I've learned that if you specify, because once did a yard sale and I wanted my stuff to be gone.
yeah,
I
that's
said,
yeah.
I said, this is what I had put. The prices are noted by sticker. Reason is 50% of that price I am donating to the cancer ward. So
Right.
people did not,
They won't
my prices
negotiate
were
with you.
pretty low, but nobody negotiated. One
Yeah.
guy at the end came to try to negotiate. You know what I told him? I said, I'll
No.
take $6 for that if you give me $20 for the donation. So it came back to the same price.
Um.
And the
You
guy
know.
just looked at me and I said, I'm serious. I am raising funds. I decided to take my stuff to raise funds for these wonderful people. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I said, I'm a cancer survivor, so you can't tell me that I don't know where this money is going from.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I was like, the price is the price because I really, really wanted to. And I ended up raising my $200 that I wanted to donate. So to me, I was like, that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I
I'm
achieved.
I'm trying to. Like monetize. My channel is monetized, and I'm trying to decide how I'm going to do this. I want to be able to basically, I want to be able to donate whatever money I get monetized. I want to be able to donate it to the University of Michigan cancer hospital. They took care of my wife, and it's like anything because I started this channel. This channel is like a byproduct of my blog, and I wrote a blog because I was writing about our journey. And
Mhm.
I never saw myself making money doing this. I never imagined that I could and be in a position to make money. I don't like the idea of making money off of my personal tragedy, so that's the reason I
Yeah.
have monetized. If they could have it where I could donate, like okay, you got $100. Okay, great. Could you please, instead of sending that to me, can you make a donation to
I
University of
think you
Michigan?
can get it set up that way.
Can you?
I believe so.
Yeah, because I don't want any money up from doing this. I don't want that. That's not what I started it for. I haven't even activated it yet because of that.
Yeah.
I haven't done memberships. I haven't done super chats, and I haven't done any of that. If I could get all of that and know full well that someone, hey, I'm giving you a super chat, awesome. That's another $3 to Michigan. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. But
Mhm.
if it come to me, I don't want it.
Because I always say if people have not been sick, or like on the receiving end of the healthcare, to you it's just a big building over there that takes care of people.
Yeah.
But if you walk the halls, like I could tell you, when I wasn't feeling well on chemo and they would give me these little cookies, and I'd look at these and I said, somebody took the time to go to the store and buy a box of cookies so I can have something in my stomach and not be sick. You know, it wasn't provided by the hospital. So every time I'd be like, and you know, there was one, I remember, because I was there when winter, spring, so came spring, some person was so kind, donated literally over 100 kind of hats, baseball caps, fedoras, whatever. Because when you're bald, you still need to put something on your head, you know?
Did you lose your hair? Did you lose your hair through your radiation?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Yep. I lost it during chemo, not radiation.
Yeah. Yeah, she lost her hair too.
And if you people know this reference, I always wanted my hair like Spike. If you know the reference who Spike is, let us know. But I realized I didn't look good as Spike.
That's right. Are you talking about Spike from Happy Days?
No.
Oh, well, there's Spike, and there's also Spike from Snoopy.
No.
Let's see, what else is there, Spike?
I'll give you a clue. It's a Canadian hit series.
Oh, God, that's no fair. I don't know what Canadian, Flashpoint.
No. I'll give you another clue.
Red Green.
Drake became famous because of this series.
Oh, Degrassi.
Yep, the original Degrassi.
Degrassi.
Spike had long hair like
Spike
this.
from Buffy. Oh, this is Mario Brothers. Okay, people are. I was like, okay, Degrassi. Yeah.
See, there's so many Spikes, but
you know what? Though
she
nobody
had,
knows.
She had long hair and she was bald. And
you know what's funny?
I told my mom I was gonna come home like that, and she's like, "No." So when I lost my hair, I'm like, "Mom, you can call me Spike," and she's like, "I'm not calling you Spike."
Man, that was another thing too. You know, when she lost her hair, trying to find a wig. Man, oh man, that was the worst.
Do you want to hear my story of my wig?
Yeah, how hard was it for you to find?
No. Let me tell you how. You know when you say God prepares you without you knowing? Okay. I'm a strong believer. The day that I was going to the hairdresser to cut my hair, because my hair was 16 inches long, so I could cut it to donate to cancer, is the day I found out I had cancer. So, and then the day that they told me I had to go get a wig, you know when you say a thing of misfortunes happen? Misfortunes always happen to me. It's like the story of my life. I was supposed to be at this hospital. I got to this hospital. The program had been moved to another hospital the week before. Nobody contacted me. So I went to the other hospital. Then I get there, they're like, "Oh, we're only open from this time to these days." So then you have to go to this third hospital. And these hospitals had wings for cancer. And I was like, why can't they just have one at every hospital or at one spot? So that was my suggestion to the thing. Get to the third hospital. And she goes, "I have a perfect wig for you." And I just looked at her. I was like, okay. Remember, I donated 16 inches long hair. So the shortest hair I've always had was always shoulder length. Right. And she takes out this short hair, curly, never had curls. My hair is straw, black hair. And I just looked at her. I was like, "Excuse me, I'm long and blonde. I'm not short and black and curly." And the lady was trying not to laugh, but I have a sense of humor, right? I said, "If I'm not going to laugh through this experience, it's going to be hell, right?" And I said to the lady, "If you're not laughing, I'm going to be leaving right now." And she's like, "Oh, you meant it?" I was like, "Yes, I did." And this other lady was getting fitted. It is cracking up. And this one's trying to be all prim and proper. And I said, "Lady, it might look good on me, But I'm not prepared for that. When my hair grew back, short, black, wavy, but guess what? 6 months later, it went back to blonde. God's like, she's fighting this too much.
We when we went for looking for a wig, we went to several places. Went to University of Michigan. They didn't have anything.
Yeah.
Um, we went looking. It was the hardest. It was one of the hardest things about the whole experience was trying to find a wig that fit
Yeah.
and the experience would pay for it. There just wasn't very many places to go uh, at all. Um, it was really difficult to try to find a wig. It was hard. It's just it was almost like, wow, we have cancer patients every day, all the time, and you're trying to tell me that there's no dedicated wig company or no,
Yeah.
no, not at all. A very good friend of mine, she did something really sweet. Her name's Tiffany Hendra. She made a video. She had a little her channel was called Sanctuary of Style, and she's just a fashion guru, and but she knew what we were going through, and she made a video about it and about the wig, about wearing a wig and wearing scarves and wearing hats. And I asked her, says, could you do something like along that line for cancer patients? And she did, and it came out really really sweet. And about once a year, I'll bring it up and I'll share it out because I'm always grateful for her for that, because it's one of the
Yeah.
most difficult things that it's not really talked about very much either. If you don't really ever hear anybody talk about finding the proper headset. You know,
Yeah,
and
because every head is different.
yeah,
And everybody has a different hair color, a different feature. So then it gets. And my friend, God bless, one of my best friends, she's like a sister to me. Her ponytail is like, you can't put one hand around her ponytail, you gotta put two. She knew I was going through this. So when I donated my hair, my little ponytail of like this much, she donated 16 inches of her long hair. I found out I had cancer. So we called a few companies, like even one in China. Like, I'm not effing you. And we were trying to make a wig, and you know what the lady told us? On like the fifth company, she goes, I'll be frank with you. You're going to need at least 10 ponytails. I said, but you don't understand. Her ponytail is like almost like 4 inches thick. Like, it's insane. She goes, doesn't matter. She will need that much because, they thread and stuff. And if her hair's not strong or this and that. So she goes, we always say 10 just because if there's not enough, there's just not enough. So then they go short versus long. And I was like, oh my God. So I said to her, I said, it's okay. I'll just wear my bandana and pretend I'm at the gym. And then she
right.
goes, but that's not the look that you're, because I didn't want people to know I was sick. But I was like, if it's going to be, it's going to be, man.
Yeah,
So,
that's what Tiffany did too. She wore scarves too. She showed how you could wear a scarf when you didn't have
yeah.
don't have any. She looked absolutely fantastic. It's like, wow,
Mhm.
okay. So Lori wore a couple. She wore scarves. We got her some scarf, and so there were some days where that's what she did. She wore a scarf over her head, or more than a wig. I volunteered to shave my head. I was down with it. I was like, I'm ready to, if you want to chop off my hair too. But she asked me not to. She asked me not to. So I said I don't mind. She says, I know, but I don't want you to. I want to see you, because I like your hair. So hey Chadwick, how are you? I'm glad you're here. All right, let's go with something a little bit more fun before we wrap this party out. So let's talk about your channel. What are you doing on your channel? What got you into YouTube anyway?
Um, long-term complication of having cancer and surgery.
Um,
I have a left paralyzed vocal cord. So I have a disability. Nobody knows. It's as they call it, hidden disabilities.
okay.
Um, so the past 4 years before my channel started, so 6 years ago, I was put on vocal rest for 2 months, then 3 months, then 4 months, then because they were trying to figure out what was wrong with my voice. So when you do 4 months, that's 120 days of not talking. And I'm a talker, I'm a chatter, it was really tough on me, like mentally. And I was like, no, this is not going to win against me. Once I have my voice, I'll, I'll spread the word of, there's good people out there. And you know what? It's not the end of the world, whatever you're thrown at. Because there's always somebody who's worse. Even if you don't think so, you might hear a story, you might see a picture, you just might hear it, and then you'll be like, wow, or you'll actually meet the person. So, and I said, I will have, people don't think I have down days, but I do have my own down days, let me tell you. I ain't perfect. The last thing I am, fortunately, my mom is very disappointed that I'm not perfect. I'm so sorry. I'm perfectly imperfect, if you ask me.
That's right.
You can't change the imperfections, because without those, I'm not who I am. So, and that's what I did. And I was like, it was on my bucket list after my chemo. I said, I made a bucket list of things to do. And one of the bucket lists to happen on my honeymoon, I said to Steve, what do you want to do for our honeymoon? He goes, well, whatever. He's like, I said, we didn't have much money, so we went to a place, and I said, I want to do zip lining. It's only 4 hours of our life. And I'm afraid of heights, but I know in my head, it's just what my head is trying to tell me, but I know it's an irrational fear. So by the end of the 4 hours, I was a flying squirrel because I didn't want to get down. And Steve was like, oh my God, we're on the ground. I'm so happy we're on the ground. So, and then I said to myself, I was like, if I can do that on my honeymoon, and we're this how many years later, I have to start researching my concept of what I want to do on YouTube. And my concept is just to meet people, to share positivity, listen to their stories. And you know what? If I can learn from them, they can learn from me even better. And then COVID came, so I learned to pinch cheeks instead of give people hugs.
Yeah, what what was your COVID experience like? With your, because even though you're a cancer survivor, you still you're compromised. Your immune system is pretty much all shot up anyway. So what was it like for you? Were people respectful of you, and did they wear a mask around you? Were they sympathetic to that, or were you sort of surprised to see how selfish people were?
Well, I could tell you it had already been how many years of cancer free that I've always had an N95 mask in my purse. And I always wore a scarf because,
Yeah.
unfortunately, byproducts of going through chemo, mine was developing an extra heightened sense of allergies to scents. So I used to joke when I was going through chemo that my next future career is I'm going to be a dog working at the border because I could smell everything. But I didn't have the tail and I didn't have the hair. So I could smell stuff that people don't smell, which is not fun, but hey, it is what it is, right?
Right.
And
Right. Probably the hardest part for me, V, was when the pandemic was the fact that when they said, hey, go ahead and wear a mask, do 6 feet apart. I was thinking to myself, when Lori was sick, I had to go to work and everything else,
yeah,
and I was trying to stay away from people, and I would sit there and they say, just if you're sick, just don't come near me if you're sick, because
yeah,
and looking back at it, I probably should have been masked up. But then I tell all my coworkers, don't if you're sick, just don't come
yeah,
to me. And so I'm working with a customer or whatnot, and any customer that was sick, that was sniffling or what have you, I would always pass them on to somebody else. I said I
yeah,
can't work with that person because they're sick, and everybody understood that. And I had a coworker come up there, and she was sick, and she had a cold, and she came walking up to me, and I was helping a customer out. She came walking up to me to ask a question, and you could hear her coming down the hallway, like all snorting and sniffing and coughing. I'm like, she's just going walking up to me, and I put my hand up and going like, stop, don't come here, just don't come to me, like you're sick. Don't come my stay back. And I said, what do you need? And then she told me. I helped my customer out, and then I started walking away the opposite way, and she's all snotty about it. She's like, well, you didn't have to be that way. You didn't have to be rude. And I turned the corner. I didn't engage with her. I just turned the corner. She's followed me. She was barking at me. She turned the corner. She turned the corner, and the store manager's sitting there, and he's not working. He's standing there. He's waiting for her to come around the corner, and he's just standing there with his arms closed, like this. He's folded his arms, and so all of a sudden she sees him, and she starts complaining about how I treated her, and he looks at her, and he looks at me, and he looks at her again, and says, "Didn't you hear what he told you? Didn't you understand? Didn't you respect what he said? Do you not know what's going on?"
Hey, Patrick, give me 5 seconds, 5 minutes. I put something in the private chat for you. Just 5 seconds.
Hey, John, how are you guys? Hopefully everybody's having a good time with V. We are having a lot of fun. I appreciate her coming out there and being candid with her condition. I always learn something new. Some of you may not know who I am. Really, the reason why we're talking about this is it's because my wife Lorianne and I, she had cancer. She had uterine cancer, and she passed after 2.5 years after her diagnosis. And that's why we're here tonight on May. That's why we're doing a show every month in May, because I had to keep really, really busy in May, because this is the month that she died. She died on May 20th. And so I had to keep really, really busy, so I don't think about that too much. So thanks for hanging out with us and supporting us. And I really do appreciate it. And there's our good friend John, Doomsday Crypt, my man right there. I still owe you a phone call, John. I'm gonna call you after the show if I can. I gotta talk to you, man. I gotta show you. I gotta share this story with you. John is John. Oh, and Steven's here too. Holy crow! Thank you so much, Shelly. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on to the month too, Shelly. You know, you're. I'm so glad you agreed to do the month with me. It makes it more special. It does. I'm so grateful to every guest that came on in May to hang out with us. Yeah, I got one. I got a story. I got one for you too, Stephen. Yeah. There we go.
Doomsday Crypt is in the house.
Yeah, Doomsday Crypt's in the house. Steven from House of Horrors in the house. Our good friend Paul Anita been coming around and really supporting the show as of late. Oh yes. Oh gosh, before I forget. So thank you for hitting the like button. I'm supposed to remind everybody to drop comments. So please drop a comment on the show. I always forget that, V. I always forget that. I never think about it.
When it's done, wait 5 seconds, leave a comment.
Please drop a comment down below. That would be awesome. It does help the show quite a bit, and I do appreciate it. So yeah, I always
wait. I know what they can drop a comment about. What would you do with these cute cheeks? There you go.
Okay. So the question is, who is Swan? Hobbs got the answer, but we're going to answer it again.
Who is Swan?
Who is Swan? And what would you do with these cheeks? Wait a minute. Her facial cheeks, because she's a married lady.
I said peaches.
Okay, good. I just want to make that clear. She is a married lady, so it's only these cheeks up here.
No peaches.
Yeah, no peaches.
Peaches.
Oh my God, no peaches. No Canadian. Is that Canadian peaches?
Peaches, if you know what the emoji is a no peaches.
No peaches. Cheeks.
Not peaches.
Not peaches. Do you have a tattoo?
I do have medical tattoos, but after that,
that's right. Yeah,
I was so stoned and it hurts so much. I'll never get a tattoo. I've always wanted one. I've had one designed since I'm 10 years old.
You got the radiation tattoo, right?
Yeah. I got the cross.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. We had hers too. She had her radiation too. Okay. Yep. See, and Michael Ann says no peaches. Okay, here's the question I want to ask. Here's our last question here for you. So, how did you and Michael Ann become a team? Because you guys are such a dynamic duo. How did you guys meet?
She came up on my live one 2 years ago,
I never.
and we just started chatting. And she's like a sister from another mother, another father, whatever. We have parallel, similar lives on so many things. And you know how you say the world is so small? She's that far away, and she worked for the same company that I did at one point in her life. And I was like, what are the chances? Like, what are the chances of all places? So, and like they say, when you meet people that you click with, and then.
Yeah, that's that. That's really been the thing for YouTube, hasn't it? I mean, you meet a lot of good people, and I mean, you see them from afar, then you get to know them up close, and then you go, you see their
And then you
journey.
say to yourself sometimes, what the was I thinking?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had my few of those. Let me tell you. In fact, I have
Cheers for
that.
it.
I had that yesterday. A matter of fact, and it's funny you mentioned that because I was just thinking about that. Boy, that was me yesterday. Like, what the fa la la happened last night? Um, which I am going to tell John. I'm going to tell John, and I'm going to tell Steven because it's funny as hell. Let's see.
Danny, I want to say thank you that you met me there, but you'll never see me there ever again. Thanks.
Which one?
Just later, you can read her comment.
Oh, Danny D. Oh, yes, right. That's right. Yes.
So,
I'm
never going to be there.
Yep. Yeah, I'm glad you guys found each other. Let's see. Brene says that she got to camp with you and Michael Ann.
Yes.
And
Renee gives really good hugs. I'm just gonna say. And she loves Canadian chocolate.
You know what,
so
though?
Patrick, you need to come to M23. And if you do,
Okay.
I'll meet you and I'll give you some chocolate. Ask Bernie, she'll give you a perfect 10 on those chocolates.
And you know what, though? I'm looking at Anna Cass Love. She goes, yes, I love going to yard sales are fun. But you know what? Anna's got a gift. See, Anna already knows where all the best sales are going to be because she can read it in the cards. She's like, oh yeah,
she has a cheat sheet.
Yeah, she's got it. She just thinks I'm going to take all 5 decks with me. I'm going to sit there and see where the best yard sales are at, and I'm going to go there and get the hook up. I would love to go shopping with Anna. Yes, I am invited to go. I have to get out of my house. I really, truly do. I have been. I'm not a phobic. I don't mind going outside. I do. I just don't do it. I don't know why. I don't really know. I go to 2 places. I go pay my bills, and I go to the library, and that's really all I really go to. And I don't really know why, because I like exploring places. I just don't do it.
Can I ask you 3 questions?
Okay, 3 questions.
Where was the favorite place you and your wife used to go to?
Putin Bay, Ohio.
Okay, is that in town or not?
No, that's about 150 miles from here.
Okay, that's not that bad. Second, what is the favorite holiday you ever took with your wife?
We went on vacation. We went to Washington, D.C.
Okay, and thirdly, if your wife were to tell you, are you going to listen to V when she says, do something in the memory of her? Because I know you're a great husband. Why don't you make her proud and say, this one was for you? I tried something new and you were still with me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. I was thinking about that because this next Friday is next Saturday is a week from Saturday is the anniversary. So I know that she liked going to church, and I actually am thinking about going to church. I haven't been there since her funeral, so I'm thinking about going there to go there and honor her in that respect. Because I mean, it's something I could do. It's really close to the house, and it's probably the least stressful thing I can do.
And you always told me you were a great husband, and I'm not going to ever forget that.
That's the one thing I'm most proud of is I was a very good husband.
So you still are. So let's make it happen.
I still am. I still got the ring on. Yep. Listen, I want to thank you, V, for coming out and hanging out with us. I'm so grateful that you came out. I'm grateful to all you guys that came out tonight. It's been a little bit of a tough week. I won't lie to you. It's been a tough week. I've been sort of feeling it a little bit more than more than I expected. I mean, it's every day it's with me, but it gets a little deeper.
Hmm.
And once
Yeah.
May gets here, I have to stay busy. Oh my God, I have to stay busy. I just can't have any quiet in the house. It's just too overwhelming for me.
Well,
Uh,
I might have a vocal disability, but I ain't quiet, so you
no,
know the drill.
when I have to, like as soon as I have to either stay on here or I go turn on the TV or I take my phone. One thing I used to never do, I never used to have white noise. When I go to sleep, I used to have it all quiet. But the last 10 years, I've had to have white noise. I can't fall asleep in a quiet house.
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. Um, Let's see. Anna says
Yes.
she has a hard time talking about things for her. I feel like I won't handle the trolls. Well, I don't have any trolls. I don't have that. But yeah. Uh, V's quiet, not unless she's on restrictions. Are you still on restrictions?
No, but I sometimes put myself on restriction because I know the symptoms of what's going to happen. So it's been twice in the past 2 years that I have. And I confirm with my doctor, and my doctor goes, "You know your body pretty well. So it's not something that's new." So, but Patrick, can I tell you something?
Sure.
As I tell all my people, but I'm going to tell you since you're looking at me face to face, thanks for being beautiful inside out. And you
Uh,
know what? Treat yourself like you would treat your wife. Make it, do something special for yourself.
I really would like that, but there's a lot of weight on there. Like
Yeah, I
I
know.
talk to people. I always say, do you know where your life turned at? Do you know the moment where it turned at? Not very many people know that. Not very many people know that. Like, do you know exactly when your life went from here to here?
But,
Because a lot of people like, I don't know when that happened. I do.
but
I know exactly where it's at, and I know exactly what was said. I know exactly who I was with. It's right there, and it's like I know that I know where my life turned at, and it's
but can I
so
just tell you, your life can still take a turn.
oh it yeah yeah it can it can. I mean, it's just so weird because not very people can do that. Like because everything's either gradually. It's either gradually happens or even things that happen like suddenly. Huh? Do what?
That was for the people in the chat.
Oh,
If you understood what I said, drop a green heart.
uh, there's a lot of green hearts out there. I threw out some orange hearts for the cheetah.
Yeah, the cheetah loves orange. If I
Uh,
were not allergic to a cat, I would get Cheetah's best friend,
oh my
Chester.
god. Oh my god. Yes. Yeah, that would be fun. If I had two cats, I would probably name two orange cats. I'd name them Chester Cheetah. Um,
Insane.
Uh, well, thank you again, V, for coming and hanging out with us in the chat. I thank you guys so much. Before I let everybody go, let me please let the count. I'll tell you what's coming up next week. We have another fun-filled week next week. Starting on Monday the 15th, we have singer Rachel Deshane. Deshane will be here at 8 p.m. On the 16th, we have two shows. We have two. Rocky Reynolds will be here at 3 p.m. He is a actor and a small business owner based in Montana. We also have on 8 o'clock, we have Garo and Anna Setian. Garo is the writer and director of the new movie called Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star. Which is
Nice.
super fun, super fun. Which features Sadie Katz, who was a guest on the show. On the 17th, we have our good friend Matt Fashy will be here with us at 8 p.m. And you guys, we're gonna have so much fun. That's gonna be all laughs all night long. I promise you. On the 18th, we have vocalist Michelle Aragon from uh, Silva Noor will be here with us. She's got a beautiful voice, and she will be singing for us on the 18th. On the 19th, we have another vocalist. We have Michelle Lynn Blasky will be with us at 8 p.m. She is also a vocalist for a musical duo called Ms. 44, and she will be here with us on the 19th. And then on the 22nd, we have Julie Michaels from Roadhouse. Yeah. You remember Roadhouse?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you remember that hot smoking blonde?
Oh yeah, I know who she is.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a pet, put it on a leash. Okay, so we had Mark.
Patrick, are you insinuating that we need
uh,
you leash for
I
the interview?
no, I mean that was the line in the movie.
I know, but with the first comment you had to say, I was like, we can send you a leash, to do the
Ooh,
interview.
I don't know. You know what though? Because she's a badass. Not only is she's a good actress, but she is a world-class stunt person. She has done so many cool stunts. It's I can't wait to talk to her. It's like I just can't wait. It's so interesting because she was so beautiful and she went to stunts. She didn't stay a leading lady. She wanted to do stunts. I'm
Go
just
for it.
about that. And
Yeah.
I'm going to be joined by special co-host Hobbs Horror. Hobbs Horror will be here on the 22nd. And then on the 23rd, we have musician Todd Strange will be here for the band I Am. And special guest host will be Jonas from the Friendly Men. He'll be joining me for on that interview with Todd Strange of the new band I Am, featuring members of Down, Crowbar, and Type O Negative. It's going to be heavy as hell on the 23rd. I can't wait to talk to
Well,
him.
why didn't I know you when I was in my 20s? These are all the bands that I used to listen to back in the day.
Me too. Me too. Listen to them all. A lot of the bands I booked. Me and my buddy Jimmy. We booked Type O Negative. So we had a lot of fun. I'm sure Jimmy probably booked Crowbar and Down. I'm sure that if
Okay,
not
wait a
Pantera,
minute.
if
Can
not
I just say
Pantera.
something? Michael
Sure.
Ann, are you up for road trip?
Oh, they're dropping a new band. I Am is dropping a new single out on June 2nd. It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be exciting. I can't wait to talk to Todd Strange about that. So we're bringing more musicians to the show too.
Nice.
Yeah. It's my background. So yep. Don't worry, you're not too late. We're
Busby.
gonna get out of here now, but we always got the replay, and believe me,
Yep.
we appreciate any and all of you coming out and hanging out with us and watching the replay and dropping a comment. All right, that's it for us. I want to thank the chat. Thanks so much, V. You stay right there for a minute. I'm gonna say goodnight to the chat. You guys have been awesome, rocked it. We will talk to you. We'll talk to you soon. Peace and peaches. Mashed potatoes are great.
Did you just say beaches?